This presentation is brought to you by Arizona State University's Julianne Wrigley Global Institute of Sustainability and a generous investment by Julianne Wrigley.
I also just think there's a lot of room for different kinds of innovation, but I think that innovation can come from things that we already use, that already exist. And in my childhood growing up in Hollywood, the milkman delivered milk, and I lived in an apartment in glass bottles, and we washed those glass bottles and sent them back, and then they were refilled again. I don't think that we need to wait for some kind of magic thing that we haven't come up with yet. I feel like there are solutions. Maybe some of them are more traditional or old school. Maybe it's as simple as storing your food at home in a ceramic bowl and putting a saucer on top of it like my grandma used to do, and I now do sometimes. But I just have to say it's challenging and it's fun to try and figure out how to reduce your personal plastic footprint, how to reduce your plastic footprint at home, at school, at your kids' school, at this campus, in your place of work, in your department, in your office, at your club. It is totally worthwhile to do. And I also would like to tell you that I think that single-use plastic is very insidious. It didn't escape my awareness that as the refreshments were being brought out, they were being brought out covered with saran wrap. What could we be using instead of saran wrap? Could we use, even though it would be plastic, could we use the dense plastic shells or something like that can be used hundreds and hundreds of times versus covering things with something that basically is instant garbage. The minute it was pulled out, that sheet became instant garbage. And I really feel that way about straws as well. I don't know, Matt, how many of you have seen this video that kind of went viral about a month ago where some marine biologists caught a marine turtle. I think they were studying it or tagging it off the coast of Costa Rica and found that it had something lodged in one of its nostrils and began to tug it out and found that it was a straw about this long. And pulled it out of the turtle's head. And we've met people here today and yesterday and just over the last month, and young people who have said, I will never use a straw again after I saw that video. I know that in my own experience, thanks. I know in my own experience, it's kind of hard to get a drink without a straw unless you remember to order it that way. You have to literally say, hi, I'd like an iced tea. No straw. Please don't put any plastic in my drink, to someone nicely, and about 50% of the time it will work. But I think that if everybody starts doing things like that, we can actually create some awareness and make a change. On that note as well, we are working with some different restaurant and hotel restaurant groups who did the Mario Batali as part of our coalition, and his restaurant group, Batali Bastianich Restaurant Group, which is now 23 different restaurants around the world, just made a decision about a year and a half ago to change their protocol, which meant that they had to teach it to all of their servers and people who worked in the restaurant. And the change in protocol was when people order something to drink, you serve it to them, and we still have straws, but they're only available upon request. So somebody has to kind of go that extra mile to get a straw, because I don't know how often I'm out with people and we're all served a drink with a straw in it and everybody just takes the straw out and puts it on the side. So I think that little things like that can go a long way and have a large effect, and actually we're creating a case study with them about what they've saved, and they've seen their straw usage go down, substantially by just the shift in protocol. So that's quite interesting. But there are a lot of options and alternatives that are available right now. And I would encourage and invite everybody who is sitting here to look around you and see if there are things that you can change and do today or when you wake up tomorrow that will help contribute to becoming part of the solution. So, yeah, thank you.
This presentation is brought to you by Arizona State University's Julianne Wrigley Global Institute of Sustainability for educational and non-commercial use only.